Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic. If HBO's Chernobyl was a series with a new disaster every season, what event would you like to see covered? Challenger. Holy crap. HBO, get on this. The Rogers Commission, with Famer in the Legasov role. Write that down, write that down. Halifax explosion. I literally just touched a building 7 hours ago that had debris embedded in it from that explosion. The destruction is hard to comprehend. An area of over 160 hectares, 400 acres, was completely destroyed by the explosion, 60, and the harbour floor was momentarily exposed by the volume of water that was displaced. That part alone is unthinkable to me, that much water was displaced. I wonder if that's just hearsay, it sounds so incredible. I read a book about it last year. Amazing how it created a bond between Boston and Halifax that lives on today. IIRC, Halifax recently revived the tradition of sending a Christmas tree to Boston to thank them for their help. Boston without hesitation loaded trainloads of relief supplies and medical specialists within 24 hours. They didn't wait, they just ran to help. Also interesting how many people were blinded by window glass because they were watching the ship burn in the harbor when it exploded. Optometrists from all over the region flooded to Halifax to give free care to the survivors. Would love to see a show about this. Because of the extensive damage to eyes and increase in blindness, it led to the establishment of the Canadian National Institute for the Blind. Chernobyl. It injured a lot of people and the series of mistakes that caused it to occur is insane. Edit. This was a chemical leak that killed 2,500 people in the immediate aftermath and thousands more long-term. 558,125 injuries were recorded due to it. Here's some more info. The plant, located in India, made pesticides out of methyl isocyanate, MIC, and alpha-ephthal. It had a number of storage tanks of this and other chemicals, but we'll focus on the MIC. MIC causes chemical burns, blindness and loss of lung function, just to name a few. The recommended capacity of the tanks was 60% due to it being a gas. At the time of the leak the tanks were at 70%. The tanks had a number of safety features that at the time were either broken or not being used. The main issue being refrigerators meant to keep the gas cool. Anyone who knows ideal gas law knows the gases expand when they get hotter. Many of the workers were untrained in what to look for, but the real issue is that the refrigerators were not turned on not because they didn't work but to save money. It's estimated that 2,000 people died, with over 2,000 affected by the groundwater and soil contamination that still exists today. Edit. I'm not an expert on this, so here's some stuff I got wrong. I knew it reached badly with water but forgot why. Here's what you/the middler so added. There's much more to it than that. MIC is a liquid at room temp. It reacts violently with water, which is extremely exothermic. They were cleaning pipes and did it so wrong that they ended up dumping a bunch of water into the MIC tank. This immediate exothermic reaction is what caused it to heat up so much where it boiled into a gas, and was released through the pressure safety valve designed to prevent a pressure explosion. Also those death SATs are likely lower than the real ones. JFC. I'm no genius, but I'm a mechie and thermodynamics was my favorite subject. The gas principles are the core element of that class. To think that no one with a basic knowledge of temp/volume/pressure relations on hand completely dumbfounds me. Craig Maz's Twitter was inundated for a while with Indians asking him to do a series on Chernobyl. Chernobyl makes sense. Huge number of casualties, disaster caused by denial and ineptitude, and audiences haven't already seen the subject get much coverage. I'ma be honest, I didn't even know of this disaster until I looked it up seeing this thread. Perfect candidate. Centralia, Pennsylvania. It's a ghost town because the coal that runs under the city is on fire. It has been for many years. Edit. Thank you for the precious metals. Also, if you are intrigued by Centralia, look up the Times Beach, disaster that also required the town to be evacuated. You know how you sometimes watch YouTube videos about random shit at 3 a.m. I think I saw a documentary about that. Edit. My apology for the late edit. It's been a long time since I watched the documentary. I believe it's this one, however there are many other documentaries about Centralia on YouTube that you all might look into. https://u2.be/8sejz6mhnti. Edit 2, it's 3 AM and I'm watching random shit on YouTube. Good night, all. Silent Hill is loosely based off Centralia. Centralia is an incredibly cool story, but if it were to be an event from Pennsylvania, it should be the Georgetown, Pennsylvania flood. This was such a major catastrophic event. Over 2,200 people died and damages exceeding $474 million in modern estimates. All because some rich weirdos wanted a private resort lake that they modified and stripped of safety features to suit their aesthetic and budget. The dam creating the lake failed during heavy rainfall, causing a massive tsunami that ripped through the local area, picking up various debris, creating a massive wall of water, mud, masonry, and, miles of barbed wire after it went through the local Gautier wire works. The event provoked a massive outpouring of support, disaster relief, and charity in response. However, the survivors of the flood failed to recover damages from those who failed to maintain the dam. Rich magnates of the time, including Henry Clay Frick, which pushed American law to reform tort law as a result. Fascinating and horrifying story. Never thought I'd see this mentioned on Reddit. A whole bunch of my ancestors lived in Georgetown and died in the flood. When I was in middle school, my parents and I took a trip there to do genealogical research. It was startling to see so many people with my last name listed in the death records. Tiananmen Square Massacre. Removed. Why would you want a TV series about absolutely nothing per second? Laughs in Seafelt. In 1998, when The Undertaker threw mankind off Hell in a Cell, and plummeted 16 feet through an announcer's table. Paging /u/shit I'm off. Oh damn, I miss that dude. Aside from his most recent post, it's been about 2 months. Hope he's doing okay. The KYSHTYM disaster. Only Chernobyl and Fukushima have ranked as worse incidents, but KYSHTYM affected 4x as many people. Because of the secrecy surrounding the facility, nobody was told anything about it until a week later, when soldiers suddenly showed up and started slaughtering all the livestock and burning everything, not telling all the people why they were being rounded up and evacuated. They said it was a special disease. Some other people weren't evacuated for a year or more. Another disaster that I learned through this post. Had no idea about it previously. https://www.youtube.com. Here's a neat little video on it. Really gives you an idea of how bad it was. Came here to say this. The whole Mayak facility is a nightmare. Lake Karachay was particularly bad up to fairly recently. The sediment of the lake bed is estimated to be composed almost entirely of high-level radioactive waste deposits to a depth of roughly 3.4 meters, 11 feet. The radiation level in the region near where radioactive effluent is discharged into the lake was 600 rotges per hour, approximately 6 SV per hour, in 1990. 600 R/hour in a lake is absolutely bonkers. It was by far the most polluted place on Earth for a while. They literally dug up the soil in the area and collected it in graveyards of earth. When the soldiers came through a week later, people's skin was sloughing off their faces. It's seriously like a post-apocalyptic movie. Triangle Shirtwaist Fire in 1911. I feel like this is being lost in time, yet it has more historical importance than other disasters listed here. TSF is the basis of modern workplace safety, union organizing and more. https://wikipedia.org/wiki. BP oil spill. I agree, only because we need widespread disapproval of the oil industry to balance out the hatred for nuclear power. Everyone's for nuclear power until they want to build one near you. Edit, I got a shit ton of replies of people saying it's safe blah blah. I was referring to your property value taking a hit, but I guess not many people here own property. We're sorry. Sorry. The Costa Concordia. The mixture of incredibly brave and competent people vs the idiot captain and the spectacular nature the disaster itself would make for some damn incredible television. I'd love to see lots of different perspectives on it. Have you heard the radio between the captain and I believe it was the Coast Guard? The captain's a real diehard. Was it the one where the captain basically just went like, I'm helping right now, I'm off the ship, but I'm helping? Proceeds to not explain how he was helping. No, I won't go back on the ship cause it's too dark. I don't need to go back on, I'm already helping. Game of Thrones Season 8. Who would play our /free folk though? Ew, angry Russian mob. The Great Fire of London. What about the Great Beer Flood of London? The Great Molasses Flood of Boston. On that note, I recommend watching the ESPN 30 for 30 documentary on the Hillsborough Stadium disaster. I came here to mention this. The theme of Chernobyl was the ineptitude and pride of people. All of these natural disasters that have been suggested couldn't really have been avoided or even mitigated in the level of disaster, but like Chernobyl, the Hillsborough massacre was all about mismanagement of leadership and the ignorance on the severity of the situation by the people that got caught up in the tragedy. The most terrifying aspect of these stories is that we entrust our safety to those that we rely on to know better, but in the end, we're all the same. We are prideful and stubborn to a fault when given authority over others. Didn't the media and the police blame the victims for the deaths? I remember watching a British cop show that followed a killer obsessed with avenging the people killed.